Review and Reboot by the Happy Ladder, to look at reducing stress and increasing clarity of the things that you want to make a change in your life. My name is Jessica Silva and I am a resilience coach. And today we are looking at my absolute favourite tools. And I love it because you can use it for so many different situations. For things that are really huge, for things that are really small, it can be a really fantastic tool. All of the tools that we are talking about this week are available as a workbook. We've got a lovely PDF workbook that you can access through the Happy Ladder website, happyladder.org. So if you miss anything or there's any of the tools that you want to get hold of, that's all there on the website for you. So what's this tool that I love? Well, the tool that I really love is reframing. And it is really super useful tool. It's used in therapeutic settings and right through to small things for managing everyday situations. So what is reframing? Well, quite literally, it means having a different perspective on a situation. If you imagine looking through the viewfinder of a camera, you see one particular view in front of you. If you change that, you move from side to side, you zoom in, you zoom out, you get a very different view of what's going on. You see different things become apparent, you perhaps lose vision on other things. So that's really what we talk about that is what reframing actually is. So why is it useful? Well, it's useful for a lot of different reasons. It can help you identify new ways to solve a problem or find different ways of seeing things. A change of perspective can kind of give you an opportunity to look at the bigger picture. Is this going to be something that's important to you in a week's time, a month's time, a year's time? It allows you to be able to take that step back and think, is this actually important to me? It allows us to interrupt negative thought patterns. So that kind of spiral when you start, I can't, I won't, I shouldn't, I mustn't. When that pattern starts to happen, it can be a really useful way of cutting through that and opening things up so that you can think about how you can move forward, what your options are to be able to take steps forward. Fundamentally, it can just really help you feel better. And the other thing it's very useful for is for challenging assumptions. We are bombarded with information all the time. Our brains are continually processing huge amounts of information. And because of that, we have to sometimes, a lot of things happen on automatic. And unfortunately, we respond to things automatically too, and not always with the right response. So actually having a reframe gives us the opportunity to kind of cut through those automatic responses and really challenge what it is that we're seeing, what we're hearing and feeling, and see whether they're actually helpful to us or what else we could do. So what does it mean in real life? How do we actually use reframing? Well, there are some really basic questions that kind of form part of the reframe. And the simple ones, and these are in the workbook, are things like, how else could I see this? What else could I do? What would a friend say to me in this situation? So being able to take that step out and actually have a look at it from a different side. So if you think about, there are sort of three particular types of reframe that I want to have a look at with you today. The first is reframing situations. So this might be something that hasn't gone quite as you had planned. Maybe you didn't get the job that you applied for. Maybe you've been rejected for something that you thought that you were going to get. Maybe it's just things didn't go quite to plan. Perhaps your child was turned down for a sports team that they wanted to be on. Now, obviously, those things cause some degree of upset. It's perfectly natural and normal and reasonable and even desirable to have some degree of upset about not getting the thing that you wanted. However, with reframing, we can also think about what we can gain from that situation. How else could we see this? Supposing they didn't get the spot on the sports team that they wanted. So a reasonable question would be, well, what do you get from not having this commitment to the sports team? And actually, okay, we say, well, maybe I have more time. Maybe I have the opportunity to try out other activities. Maybe this is really, really what I want to do, and that's actually what I've learned from this is really, really important to me. So actually what I'm going to do is buckle down and really get on with improving my skills and my fitness so that I can get a position on the team next time. It's really looking at what you can learn from a situation and how you can see it differently. The second sort of scenario is perhaps when somebody else has said something or done something that has made you upset, annoyed, irritated, or something that you feel is kind of unreasonable. And it's that being able to take a step back and thinking, where might they be coming from? What's their point of view in this? What else might be going on for them? That if you think about it in a work setting, I remember one day somebody that I worked with very well was very snappy with me one day, and I was like, whoa, okay, what's going on here? And actually, because I was able to take a step back and think, this isn't about me, there's probably something going on with her, that actually being able to say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Anything I can help with? Immediately diffused the situation and actually made a much more constructive relationship going forward. Because fundamentally, we don't know what's going on with other people. We don't know whether they didn't sleep last night because the kid was up all night, or they were up with lots of anxiety and stress. We don't know whether they're worried about a family member that's not very well, their marriage is in trouble, they've got money worries. You just don't know what is going on with other people. And very often the way that people respond not very often, always, it's about them rather than about you. So being able to take that step back and think, how else could I see this? What else might be going on? Is a really useful tool to be able to see and think about things in a different way. And also being able to be honest with yourself, going, maybe they have a point. Maybe that they actually are right in their view, that actually maybe I'm the one that's being unreasonable. By giving yourself permission to take that different view, you can actually start to see and have other different solutions unfold themselves. The third type of situation this is really useful in is with negative self-talk. So a lot of people have a little sort of negative gremlin that sits on the shoulders and says, I wouldn't do that if I was you. You're no good at that. You couldn't do that. And that voice is not helpful. That's the voice that's hypercritical and that says things to you that actually stop you being able to move forward and stop you following the things that you want to do. Something might have happened and you've got yourself into a real spiral of thinking, so-and-so doesn't like me, or I didn't do that very well, I'm a failure, I'm a disaster. Stop. Think about what you would say to a friend in that situation. Would you be anything like as harsh to them as you're being to yourself? Probably not. In fact, I'm going to wager almost certainly not. By stopping and asking those questions, how else could I see this? What can I learn from it? What else can I do? We really open up opportunities for ourselves to be able to address all sorts of different situations in a much more calm and reasonable manner. I really, really encourage you to have a look at reframing and think about situations that are causing you stress or anxiety or just general irritation, and think about, how else could I see this? What is the most generous interpretation of the situation that I can find? You don't have to be right about about what is actually going on in the situation, but just actually taking that moment to think about how else it might be coming across or what else could be going on can be hugely powerful in reducing stress and seeing other ways forward when the way seemed blocked. If there are any comments or you've got any questions about reframing, please, please, please do put them in the comments and I will reply to all of them. We will be back tomorrow for day 3, where we're looking at decision making. Thank you so much for joining us today. Really, really appreciate you coming on this journey with us, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.